Well, good morning, guys. It is time to get the hams, the pork butts, out of the brine. Here we go. So they've been brining for 7 days, and then I injected them all on the 4th day. So what we got here, let's just set this right here for now. What we got is highly concentrated salt and sugar mixture, right? So you got the kosher sea salt blended with brown sugar in the brine, and then you've also got the Prague powder pink curing salt #1, right? So then there's other ingredients in there, including pickling spice. If you haven't seen the wet brine video, you can go back and watch that video. So 7 days, and they've all been injected. So we're gonna get these pork butts out of here. And of course, we've kept them fully submerged with our little ceramics. So now what's important is to get them thoroughly rinsed. I'm just gonna set them up here for now. They are ice cold now. Ice cold. Some nice looking pork butts, pork hips, however you'd like to say it. But obviously, after 7 days in the brine with the injection, they are going to be salty, right? Salty, salty, salty. Way too salty to just go on the smoker. So what I'm gonna do, and that brine is finished, 86, cannot use that again. What I'm gonna do is just use tap water. I've already ran it quite a bit here through my hose, right? So I'm just going to use that and rinse them off real good outside here. You can see that brine coming out of them. So I'm going to rinse these thoroughly. Really important, guys, because you don't want your hams too salty, right? You're going to have a little salty ham no matter what you do. If you're using a brine, right, you're going to have a little bit of lingering salt flavor. You just don't want it to be overpowering, right? So rinse them real good, and then we're going to soak them. And when we soak them, instead of using tap water like we're doing the rinse, we're going to use potable drinking water to soak them in, right? Well, that's basically it, guys. And of course, there's cloves in there. There's quite a bit of stuff in the brine there. So we're just going to get all these rinsed, and you can really see that brine liquid coming out of them, right? In Thailand, we get our water delivery in these 5-gallon buckets, completely sanitized, UV filtered drinking water, right? Already got my food grade bucket clean, guys, with bleach water, and rinsed it. So letting that set and dry. Let's use this pot. These are thoroughly rinsed. All we want to do is soak them in some water and let even more of that brine come out. You can see our water's real clear, but wait until these soak for, say, 10-15 minutes, and you'll see that the water starts to look a little bit like the brine, right? But that'll really reduce the salt content to where your hams are not over salty. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is add a little ice to keep them cold. So we've got some cloves floating around in there. It's okay, but you'll see that this water, just clear, will start to get a little tan tint to it, right, as more of that brine comes out. Because remember, 7 days completely submerged, and on the 4th day we completely injected the center of them with the same brine water. All right, let's get some ice on there. Just a few good chunks of ice to keep the water nice and cold. Great, keep our hams nice and cold. All right, guys, that's it. I'm gonna let them soak probably at least 15 minutes. All right, say they've been really thoroughly rinsed, but now the cold water soak will get the final part of the brine out of there. Okay guys, we've been soaking for a good 15 minutes. You can see our water is a little bit tinged now. So we got a little bit of brine out of the hams. We're just going to go ahead and set them on a dry rack here. This is really crucial, guys, to reduce the salt content after your wet brine. No matter really what you're brining, whether you're brining pork belly to make bacon, or you're brining a big old turkey to smoke for Thanksgiving. If you've been soaking meats in a brine, very highly concentrated salt sugar brine with the nitrite of pink cure salt #1, right? When you've been doing that for at least 7 days, you got a lot of content. Oh, look at that, huh? So I'm happy with that. 15 minutes. Of course, we did the thorough rinse and got the majority of the brine off with the rinse. And now we've soaked in ice cold water. They're still really cold. Discard this. I'm going to rinse this out and fill it up again with potable water, because I have the same thing to do for our pork bellies. Well, here's the pork bellies. We're going to slice into bacon after we smoke them, right? So I'm going to rinse these and do the exact same thing, soak them. Now, after they've set out here, and those are ice cold too, just got them out of the fridge. After they've set out here, the pork butts and the pork bellies, after they've set here and drained, right? Because I got this rack here. Then we're going to go back into the refrigerator, leave them uncovered, and let that pinnacle develop. All right, so that'll be the next step after I get the pork bellies rinsed and soaked in ice water with the potable water. I'll put them on a rack, and then we'll be ready to put it all back in the refrigerator. Okay guys, I've let them drain quite a bit here. They're still cold, so they haven't warmed or anything on me. I'm gonna go ahead and pat the fatty skin side here, get a little bit more of that moisture off of there. This will help the pinnacle develop. So we're going to put them in the fridge on a dry rack, uncovered, and let the magic happen. All right. So you always want to keep a pan underneath your dry rack, of course, catch the drippings. And like I say, these are fully cured in a wet brine. Fully cured. So it's almost impossible for any kind of bacteria or anything to develop. You can kind of lean them. They can be touching each other, that's okay. But developing that pinnacle is critical, because the pinnacle becomes really sticky. And when you got sticky pinnacle on there, that allows the smoke to infuse and get that nice bark that you want in those first few hours of smoking, right? So that's why we do that. I got another rack here to get the pork bellies. I've got to rinse and soak the pork bellies, and then we'll do the exact same thing. I've got a couple briskets down at the bottom. I've got a salmon here I'm going to smoke, and this is our homemade sausage. And it's been in there for 24 hours with all the ingredients that we use in our American style breakfast patty sausage. So ground pork with all of our stuff, right? It's kind of like a Jimmy Dean, a sage and maple syrup breakfast American sausage. So that's been in there 24 hours, right? After the ingredients were mixed in, let all those spices and everything really get mixed in. So I'm going to be frying those patties up too this morning. All right. And as far as time wise, on the air dry, open air to develop the pinnacle, depends on who you talk to. Some people say overnight is good, 12 hours or whatever, 8 hours. Some people say you can even let them sit there for 24 hours. I normally do about 8 hours, just letting them sit here and develop the pinnacle. Of course, I can monitor the pinnacle and see whether I like it, right, as we go along here. But you really don't have to worry about anything developing as far as bacteria. These are fully cured, right? They're still salty. They still got the nitrites infused, right? So yeah, in the old days they would hang them in a smokehouse, right? But we're going to leave them uncovered probably at least 8 hours before we put them on the smoker. All right, it's time to do some bacon. And these are still ice cold. Temperature control is really key, guys. So we're gonna rinse, soak, and drain all of our pork bellies. It's kind of nice with this chopping board I got here. It's on a slope, so actually drains the large part of the fluid right on off into the yard there. We're gonna, I think that's it, 4 of them. Yeah, that'll make a lot of bacon. So we'll let those drain off a minute, and then I'll start rinsing. And remember, always, 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 always throw your brine away. Do not reuse brine, guys. Do not do it. All right? Even though we've got a cure and all that stuff, and we're doing everything we can to avoid any bacteria or salmonellas, anything that's going to develop, right? We've got it covered. And that's really what the nitrites are for. But even the salt and sugar blend, it's all cured. But we're still dealing with raw meat, and we've had raw meat in here for 7 days. We need to sanitize this, right? All right, stay tuned. Well, there you go, guys. Rinsed thoroughly, soaking in ice cold potable water. All right, our pork bellies. So we'll do the same, at least 15 minutes soak. Take them out, put them on a rack, let them air dry out here for a while outdoors, and put them on dry racks with a pan underneath them in the refrigerator. Let that pinnacle develop, and then we'll be ready to smoke our hams, which I'm going to keep whole. I'm not going to slice these. I already have sliced thick cut ham steaks and shaved thin ham, deli ham for sandwiches. Got plenty of that vacuum sealed already, so these I'm going to keep whole and do a honey glaze. We'll vacuum seal them whole, okay? And the bacon is obviously the wet brine bacon. This is not the dry brine. We've done those too. But the brine for the pork bellies is a different recipe than the brine for the hams, because I've actually got like maple flavors and different flavors that went into these that I don't want in my hams. Anyway, that's it, guys. That's the process. Keep your meat cold all the time while you're doing all this. Keep your food grade buckets clean and sanitized as you go. Potable water, very important. So yeah, I'll get these on the dry rack soon, and we'll have them in the refrigerator, and we'll be done. Let them all sit there at least 8 hours, and keep an eye on the pinnacle development. Well, there you go, guys. We got our pork butts and our pork bellies all rinsed and soaked and sitting on dry racks, so they can sit here uncovered for 8 hours and develop the pinnacle. 4 hams, going to keep them whole and glaze them, honey glazed hams. 1, 2, 3, 4 pork bellies, smoke those and slice those into bacon. Beautiful, beautiful brine pork butts with a nice pinnacle development. Let's get them out here, let them warm up to room temperature before we put them on the smoker. Look at those beauties. Okay, pork bellies. Yes, pork bellies. We must make them into bacon. Get them off the dry rack. Oh yeah. Same. Fully brined for 7 days in a wet brine with a specific recipe for bacon. So the wet brine for the pork bellies is a little bit different than the wet brine for the hams. Not a lot different, but a little bit different. So let's get them babies up to room temperature. Now that they have their beautiful pinnacle established. So the reason for developing that pinnacle, guys, is it's really sticky on the surface now, right? And they're fully cured, so we didn't have any bacteria development while they were in the refrigerator, uncovered, open air, right? Don't have to worry about bacteria. They're fully cured. But getting that real sticky pinnacle on there allows those first 2 hours of smoke to really infuse. Critical, very critical. Let's make ham and bacon. Okay guys, I let them warm up about 30 minutes there, so they're not refrigerated cold. They're just kind of room temperature warm on the smoker. I've already got an established charcoal fire, but I have no smoke rolling yet, so that's what we're going to do as soon as we get them on there. We got 1, 2, 3, 4 pork bellies and 4 pork hips or pork butts. We're going to go ahead, lock her down. What I like to do is establish a really nice hot charcoal fire first. So before I put these on, I had this preheated to 300 degrees and cleaned the grills real well, so the temperature can rise really quick now, right? So I have to monitor, you know, I have to check my damper, my vents, all of that. But first, we need to get smoke right away, right away. As you can see, we got a nice charcoal fire here. Beautiful charcoal fire, all ashed over. This is Thai fruitwood tree, just one piece at a time. That's all I need to do. Very expensive fruitwood tree, so we don't want to just throw a whole bunch in there. One piece will provide a lot of smoke, and you're going to see it's seasoned, it's debarked, it's dry. It's going to catch fire really, really quick. See what I'm saying? It is catching fire. So one log, guys, all you need, you just need to get that smoke flavor into the chamber, right? That one little log will smoke for quite a while before we have to put another one on. All right, close her up. Vents are closed. I like to go ahead and open the stack for just a minute so I can monitor the smoke. We got clear blue smoke, no smut, which is perfect. I'm gonna watch my temperature real closely, guys, right? Right now we are at 210 degrees Fahrenheit. I'm liking that. So that's all I gotta do now. Oh yeah, we're smoking. Let's let the smoke go into the chamber and just keep an eye on temperature. That's it. We got a really hot fire, but it's easy to open the lid occasionally. If it gets too hot, let some of that heat escape. See, the smoke is starting to roll. Very important to get some smoke infusion on that pinnacle outer layer of your pork early. Get the smoke going. That one log is gonna fill that chamber with smoke. Huh? Oh yeah, we are smoking. And temperature is on the rise. We at 250 right now. Perfect. And just like that, guys, we have beautiful smoke rolling in the chamber, all latched down, closed. You see the damper here. Now watch. Look at that. Ain't that the beautiful smoke? Oh my! I can smell that Thai fruitwood tree. We are golden, guys. So we want to run about 250 to 270. Right now we are at 270. Perfect. All we got to do is control the temperature, add another stick of smoking wood. Once in a while, we're looking for 160 to 165 degrees Fahrenheit internal temperature on the hams and the pork bellies. So that'll take 6 to 8 hours of smoke time. Stay tuned. Look at that smoke seeping out of that chamber, guys. It's been 1 hour with just that single stick of Thai hardwood fruit tree, and look at that temperature. It's just perfect. It's just holding right in between 250 270. I don't think I'm going to have to open it at all for at least 2 hours, maybe 3. Now I may add another stick of wood to the firebox, right? That's what's great about these offset smokers. To me, this is how you really smoke. Real wood fire, excellent quality charcoal, no fire inside the chamber, regulates and holds temperature real well, great damper system, vented system, awesome high gauge firebox, right? High gauge metal firebox. To me, it's the only way to go. I know you can get great results on pellet stoves and all that stuff. Look, I've done it the poor man's way and used the charcoal grill with the charcoal on one side of the grill and the meat on the other to smoke, right? So you can do it for sure, but Once you get serious about it, especially if you're doing commercial type stuff where you're smoking up a lot of product and slicing it up and vacuum sealing it and having it ready for sale, I'm telling you, offset smokers is what they call them, because the fire is offset away from the chamber. Of course it gets a little warmer here, but I tell you what, the way this custom built thing, we actually get more smoke that comes in here on this side. It really does an amazing job. And the temperature, I never have a problem with overcooking closer to the firebox. Now, I will rotate meats when I do open and do a little basting and stuff like that, but I'm telling you, offset real wood fire smoke is the way to go. Charcoal, you know, to maintain the heat, and then one little piece of wood at a time to maintain the smoke. Perfect temperature, guys. We are not even getting too hot at all. That's the only concerns I have when I get me a nice hot preheated large charcoal base fire, right, ashed over. Only concern I have is, am I going to hit 300? Am I going to get too hot? If so, boom boom, crack the seals and open the lid, right, and then reset and get her back down where I mean, it's perfect. I don't even have to concern myself. And the smoke is getting infused on that pinnacle. I mean, you can't ask for better, guys. Offset smokers, original wood fire. This is the way to do it. Smoky. Well, guys, it's been 2 hours and I have not had to open the lid at all. Beautiful temperature, running right at 260 degrees Fahrenheit. I just put one more stick of Thai hardwood fruit tree on the fire. That's all I've done. I don't think I'm going to have to open this chamber at all. This custom grill holds great temperature. And look at that. Can you smell that smoke? It's such a clean burning, simple flavor. This Thai fruit wood goes perfect with pork. Okay, guys, we are at the 3-hour mark, which to me is the most crucial period of smoking your meats, regardless of what meats you're smoking. Today, you know, we're doing 4 hams and 4 bacons. But that first 3 hours, because I've let the pinnacle develop, really important to get as much infused smoke as possible. I'm still on the second stick of wood. I've only had to use 2 sticks, and we've maintained great smoke, and I have not had to open this thing at all. So I've basically done no work at all since we put those on there. I'm just sitting here having my morning coffee, beautiful sunrise coming here with some overcast clouds, just relaxing. There's no work involved. But now at the 3-hour mark, I do want to do some probing and some basting. So let's get her opened up. Temperature has stayed perfect, 250 to 270 the entire 3 hours, just by controlling the damper and the vents. Again, only 2 sticks of wood have been put on the charcoal fire this entire 3-hour period, and you can see we're still rolling smoke. Very clean blue smoke. And again, because I'm a big believer in allowing that pinnacle to develop on the outside of your pork, right, uncovered in the refrigerator, it is important to make sure that you maintain moisture, because obviously they dried out for a period of time uncovered in the refrigerator while they were developing that pinnacle. So 3-hour mark, we do want to do some basting. Oh my God, that's my first visual, guys. You're seeing it just as I am. Wow, I'm loving that bark. Oh my, oh me, oh my. So I do want to go ahead and baste, and very common basting is just apple cider vinegar and water, 50-50. It just adds a little sourness, and of course it's kind of an anti-acid thing, but I mean, everything looks moist, and I haven't basted, so you've got to consider there's quite a bit of fat in the pork butts, and of course the pork bellies have a lot of fat. So I don't worry about basting too much, but at this point I want to go ahead and saturate them real good. I don't have any pan of water or anything inside the chamber. Strictly smoke is what I was going for. All right, so let's do a little bit of probing here. first ham on the hot side. What do we got? 125. We are smoking slow, guys, right? Now remember, we want internal temperature 165, right? When we know our pork is fully cooked. 120. Now, obviously the pork bellies are thinner. They should run a little bit hotter. This one's on the far end. See what we got. 155. So yeah, your thinner cuts of meat always gonna cook a little faster, right? 143. Beautiful, beautiful. Nothing's finished yet at the 3-hour mark. I'm loving the temperatures internally. 143, right? 138. Loving it, guys. So we know we're not overcooking anything. We haven't got past the point of raw pork center, because we got to get to 165 before we're confident that we've killed everything, right? Even though they're cured with the curing salt and the kosher salt and the brown sugar, and they soaked in a brine, a wet brine for 7 days, right? You still have to get that internal temperature up to 165 to rest assured that you have solid, fully cooked pork meat, right? You're not going to make anybody sick. Let's do a little bit of rotating while we got her open. So I like to keep my food gloves completely sanitary, wiped with bleach water at all times. They don't look like much, right? But trust me, they are sanitized. So this is what I like to use. They're heavy. I don't have to worry about the heat. You can see we still got a stick of wood burning on fire in there. So as soon as I close this back down, we're going to be getting more and more smoke. Let's rotate these bad boys a little bit. Like I say, we're running right at, oh my God, that bark is just amazing. We're running right at 125, 130 internal, so you know we got a ways to go. But that first 3 hours to me, guys, is very, very crucial. Look at that belly. These don't really need to be rotated, to be honest with you. You know what I'm saying? Look at that moisture. Oh my, oh my. But we'll go ahead and rotate them while we got them open here. With any luck at all, I should not have to open again for an additional 3 hours, and that'll give us a full 6 hours of smoking time. Doesn't look like I'm gonna have to add wood at all. You can see we're burning. We need to get her closed down and let the smoke roll. I'll go ahead and baste one more time, but they are looking moist, and the bark is lovely. So we should have great infused smoke flavor. And I'm telling you guys, this Thailand hardwood fruit tree is perfect for pork. Yeah, there's several different styles of fruit tree here that are great for pork. I don't give mine away because I actually use a combination of 2 different ones, and you know we have a business interest, so I want to keep my specific details private. Don't share your secret recipes, right? So you can see temperature dropped obviously under 200. We had her open for a while. If I want to raise the temperature quick, I can open the damper, right? Look how clear the smoke. I mean, you can't even hardly see the smoke. It's so clear. That wood's on fire right now, right? So, but I don't need to rapidly raise the temperature. I'm gonna go ahead and close her down because I know that piece of wood was on fire, as we saw. I don't need to open the firebox. I don't need to add wood. Just need to monitor the temperature, and we are rising already. We are rising already. Just above 200, 250 on this side. This gauge runs a little hot, but nevertheless, we're gonna hit right back at that 250, 270 mark. And as long as it doesn't go above 270, no reason for me to open. I don't need to continually baste it. We are good on moisture. All right, stay tuned. It's a beautiful morning. Okay guys, we are at the 4-hour mark. 4 hours, and you could see I still have a really hot charcoal fire. It's not that big. It doesn't need to be. We are maintaining that great temperature right at 250, 270. Now I'm gonna go ahead. I've got my iron skillet in there. It's all preheated. I'm gonna go ahead and add a little bit of secret wood chips here and let those catch on fire inside that pan, and that will bring the smoke back. You can see my second log. I only used 2 logs of the Thai hardwood fruit tree, only 2. That log is gone. So now at this point, at the 4 hour, I'm gonna add just a little bit different flavor with these chips. And trust me, they will catch fire in that hot skillet, cast iron skillet. They will catch fire. So that's gonna add another little flavor, and you can do this yourself. I'm not gonna tell you what it is because, you know, it's my unique recipe. The wood flavor is a big part of it. So we got the Thai fruit wood tree as the dominant flavor in the meat because it's smoked that way for 4 hours. Now we're adding another little subtle flavor in the wood chips. And you can see, look at there, we're right at 210, 215, something like that. This one's a little hotter, running 240, right? So we're still at a great temperature, especially this late in the game at the 4 hour mark. And that is going to catch fire. Go ahead and close it up. Might open the pinch just a little bit. Put a little bit of fan on it. And now we're going to smoke with a little bit different flavor, little bit different flavored wood. Just for an hour or so, just from like the 4 to 5 hour period. All right, stay tuned. Well, there you go, guys. Just that little cast iron skillet with some wood chips, and I'm bringing in a new flavor. And I wouldn't mind telling you if I wasn't really particular about keeping all of my recipe details secret. Like I say, we have a business here for smoking and selling meats, so you can use different wood products for your pork, but you can see that just that little pan of chips is really giving us another level here at the 4.5 hour mark, giving us another level of flavor. Well, okay guys, we've been a full 6 hours of cook time now. The last hour I have let the temperature come down and not restock the fire, so we're right at 220 degrees in the chamber. I'm gonna go ahead and open it up and do some probing, see what we got. I am positive that my pork bellies are ready to come off because obviously I'm gonna make those into bacon, and then you're gonna fry the bacon. So, you know, the internal temp is not as important on something that you're gonna cook again later, right? But we will probe everything. I'm positive those bellies are ready to come off. Ooh, look at that bark on them hands. So yeah, the main thing we want to check is the internal on the hams. Big one here. Look at there, 158. That's really, really close to finish. Like I say, the last hour I've been smoking at 200 degrees, 148 there. So we still got a little time on the hams, which is what I wanted, 148, because I'm gonna do a glaze on these. So what I'm gonna do, let's go ahead and get these bellies off there. Oh yeah, 168, 169. We're good on pork bellies. Again, I'm just gonna let those cool down to room temperature, refrigerate them, let them firm up nice and stiff, and then slice them into bacon, right? So they're gonna be cooked again. Let's get those bellies off of there. Alrighty. I'm just gonna pull the bellies off. They are absolutely beautiful, ready to slice into bacon. Once I get them cooled down, I'll set them on a small dry rack here. Look at that moisture. Just to let them come down to room temperature. Oh baby, we're gonna have some nice bacon, ladies and gentlemen. That is going to be very nice smoked bacon. And again, my brine recipe for the pork bellies is different than the brine that the hams were in, because I like a little maple flavor in my smoked bacon, so I don't use any of that maple stuff on the hams. All right, so let's just set these aside. Look at those beautiful smoked pork bellies, slabs of bacon. Let them come to room temperature, refrigerate them for 30 minutes or so, let them cool down. They'll be ready for the slicer. Vacuum seal in bag, we're good. All right, so now we know our hams we're running what? Just under the 165 that we want. 162, right? So we're real close. And that's the chunky one, right? We're real close. But I'm gonna add glaze, so we'll make it easy on myself. Pull them out here. Try to be gentle. I don't want to ruin that beautiful bark, that pinnacle that we established after the brine, right? Love the looks of that bark. So now I'm gonna make my glaze. Keep cooking the hams. I'm not gonna worry about any more smoke infusion. Just keep a nice charcoal fire. Keep the temperature where we want it for the glazing. All right, close her down. Come back when we got our glaze already, guys. Okay, guys, we are at the 6.5 hour mark. I restoked the fire a little bit, and the temperature's come up beautifully, 250. So we're gonna go ahead and start our glaze. I've got just a basic brown sugar and honey glaze. There's a few other ingredients. I like a little tangy, so I do add a little apple cider vinegar and a few other ingredients, but just keep your glaze basic. You don't want to take away from the flavor of the smoked ham itself, so we're just going to candy them up a little bit, right? So now that I've got my temperature up good, got my fire rekindled, like I said, a little bit, I'm going to go ahead and put the glaze to them. Oh, smells so good. So before I glaze, I'm going to go ahead and do cloves. Do some whole cloves here and stick those in there. I think most people know that clove really goes good with holiday hams, glazed hams. And although there was clove spice in the brine, I want to go ahead and top them off and put a few fresh whole cloves in here. I'm going to go ahead and probe them one more time. Had 30 minutes since the last time we opened it. Look at that moisture just pour out when I jab them with a clove. So I think the internal temperature should have come up some because we've increased the fire. See what we got now. $155, $160. So we're getting real close to our final temperature of 165 on them, guys. But I like to give the glaze plenty of time, so we're going to definitely do another 30 minutes at least. Go ahead and be pretty liberal with our glaze here. Of course, the hams are hot, so it immediately thins the glaze down. Dab on all the edges. There we go. Right over the top of that bark and those whole cloves. So we want them to be ready to just take out the vacuum seal and warm up, and there you go. Maybe throw a grilled pineapple or two with them, maybe some cherries on top, and you have beautiful holiday hams, fully cooked, just warm and serve. All right, guys, so now I'm going to close her back down. Should be keeping that fire around 250 to 300 degrees, and let's bake that glaze on there. Okay, guys, we're at the 7-hour mark. It's been 30 minutes since I put the first glaze on there. Temperature is great, just about 270. So really cooking good now. Bringing the temperature up a little bit to cook that glaze on there. We're going to go ahead and glaze them one more time. Before we do that, let's check our internal probe, see where we're at. 161. Nice. 159. So you can say we are right there. I definitely will bring them all to the minimum of 160. After another 30 minutes of glazing, they will be completely at 160 internal for sure, and ready to take off and let them cool down to room temperature, and then refrigerate before we vacuum seal them. Really smelling amazing, guys. That's what's great about these thicker glazes like this, as brown sugar and honey, because your hams are so hot, it immediately starts to thin. And then when you close her down, it really starts to glaze over and stick to that bark, which is what we want. We want the customers to be able to just warm these up and, like I say, add a grilled pineapple or two, maybe some cherries. Other than that, fully cooked, glazed, ready to eat holiday hams. All right, let's lock her down, let her go another 30 minutes, and we'll probe them one more time before we take them off. Okay guys, we just opened it for the last time. The glaze looks really nice on there. And check the temperature now. 167, absolutely gorgeous. 162, 160. We are done, guys. We can pull those off of there and let them cool. Stay tuned. I am going to slice them in half and open them up and see what they look like inside before we vacuum seal. Oh my. Oh, the smell of those beautiful hams. That's right, they are no longer pork butts, they are hams. They are finished, they are glazed, the internal temperature is above 160. We are going to get these beauties off of here. Look at that. I'm gonna carve these babies up. Well, okay guys, if you were gonna follow what I did on smoking these pork butts into hams, you would have just let them rest a little while they were still warm, and you would have went ahead and carved them up and served them for dinner. We're not doing that. I am going to keep the small one for Nam Yin and I, but we haven't even cut them yet, and they've been in the refrigerator for a couple hours. They are nice and firm. Boom, 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 boom. Kind of hard even because they're nice and cold, which is what I want, because I'm just going to split them up here and vacuum seal them, right? So let's see what we got. You can obviously tell I have not seen the inside of any of it yet. We'll just take a cut down the center here and see how it looks. What kind of hams do we have here? I've got an electric serrated edge carving knife, but I thought I'd just go ahead and use my fleshing knife here. What do we got, guys? Do we have ham, or what do we have? Oh my. I believe we have some beautiful looking ham. And remember, we brine these for 7 days in a wet brine, and we did injection of the brine on the 4th day. So we've got some nice smoked hams, and that honey glaze on top just makes it all the more tasty for your guest, especially on holidays. Grill a little piece of pineapple, throw some cherries on there. Oh, look at that color. Absolutely gorgeous. Oh, the bark is amazing. Oh, guys. Oh, absolutely gorgeous. Those ought to bag up nice about that size. So Nam Yin and I will enjoy this one here. I think I'm just going to go ahead and cut it long way. Oh yeah. I've got a little tip piece here. Why don't we just give that a try, shall we? That ought to be a good taster right there. Oh, guys. Now again, these have been in the fridge for a couple hours, so they're cold. Looks like pretty decent ham. I'd buy it from you every day of the week and twice on Sunday. Folks, that's better than any store-bought processed ham you're going to find. Not too salty at all. You can taste the smokehouse cure. The ham jumps out at you, and in the glaze, the sweetness of the glaze kind of gives you a little aftertaste top off. But the first thing that strikes out is just smokehouse ham. Delicious, guys. Hey, thanks for watching. If you haven't subscribed and you enjoy the videos, click subscribe. It's free. Alright, guys, we'll see you on the next video. Oh my. Oh, I forgot. I still got bacon to take care of. Well, there you go, guys. Final product. Oh, signed, sealed, delivered. Bag, sealed, and ready to sail. We got a big one here. Right. Nice chunk. Oh yeah. We got some individuals. We weigh these out in grams. Couple of small ones here. Huh? Nice vacuum sealed, guys. Keep in the freezer for at least 6 months. Keep them in your refrigerator for at least a couple of weeks. Oh, this ham is delicious.